So, I've got 6 months left until I graduate, which means I have started the unenviable task of looking at jobs and internships. Like, it's not as if there is completely nothing out there, but the amount of reading you do into how many graduates ultimately have jobs after they've graduated is a little bit depressing. Because you've got to remember, for all of the lists of jobs that are out there, you're going to have the previous generation of graduates, and probably the previous generation of graduates, applying for it as well. Coffee break. So for a long while I've not really had much of an idea of what the hell I'm going to do, and I've been looking at loads of different things to keep me busy, like HR and Marks and Spencer's and unemployment. But one of the things that caught my eye recently was on a website called Milk Round. They had a list of the 100 best graduate employers or something like that, and one of them which caught my eye was something called Teach First. Now every time I say I'm doing an English degree, the first thing a person says is, "Oh, so you're going into teaching then?" So I thought I'd just go with what people expect of me and apply for a teaching job. Unfortunately, I failed to realise quite how competitive the graduate job market is at the moment. The application I was going to make, obviously, is English teacher, because that's what my degree is in, it's what I'm good at. Phew! No. Gone. There was advice up on the website as well that even if your position had gone, they'll be reopening some, so presumably some drop out in the meantime. I've sent off an application, but yeah, I don't have the highest of expectations for that one. And since then I've started reading about things on The Guardian and The Times and other newspapers and websites about graduate job schemes, and the news is a little bit depressing. Basically, if you're a graduate in the United Kingdom, you're fucked. The employment rate is depressing, and I just keep reading these stories about how they're living in their parents' basements on futons, and they're on unemployment, and it's just soul-destroying to think. And so many of the students are talking about menial work that they're doing in the meantime. I'm struggling to even get menial work. And as a consequence of desperation, so many of the advisory articles are borderline ridiculous in some of the things that they're advising. I've been avoiding LinkedIn for a long while now because I thought it was just a sort of gimmicky thing where employers would just start checking your Facebook profile and start looking through your drunken photographs. As it turns out, it's a sort of necessary evil these days, so in the next week I'm probably going to just bite the bullet and finally sign up for the damn thing. So much of the advice on these newspaper articles, though, is just above and beyond anything that you would expect to ever do. There was one that recommended that you start doing this little A5 booklet instead of a CV because it looks different. I am that close to reading an article that says you should show up to your interview in a pink suit singing Christmas carols all the way through. It's also looking increasingly likely that it would be much easier to break into a top-secret laboratory and steal a strain of Ebola virus rather than get a graduate job. Nothing shores up the job market quite like a massive plague. Anyway, question for the comments this week. Have any of you guys been having trouble getting jobs of any kind? If you've been struggling with the graduate market, let me know down below. If any of your users of LinkedIn have found it useful as well, let me know. See you next Thursday. Tough watching.